I think the thing for me, and my mom taught me this early in life, and I didn't understand it at the time. She just said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So that's why I'm quiet a lot of times, you know. And I just, no, but I mean, really, it's a sport and it's a business at the end of the day. And we talk about guys going to school and get degrees and all that, and for me, that's very important. But it seems for some that the bottom line is winning ball games, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think as a coach, you got to keep in perspective. What's your goal? What's your plan for all your guys? Not every one of our guys will be pros, but they can be successful in their careers, and that's my job to help them with that. But I don't get consumed with what goes on because it's time and energy wasted. And if you can't control it, why worry about it? And at the end of the day, I don't care how successful you are. Some people won't like you for whatever reason. So why waste time on it? And one thing I've always lived by, unless they change something, there'll only be one body in that casket when I'm gone. It's the most important thing.
In March 2011, the University of Tennessee hired Cuonzo Martin to coach its men's basketball team. During his 3 seasons coaching the Vols, Martin's record was a winning one, 63-41 overall and 32-20 in the SEC. But to some, it seemed as if fans never really gave Martin a chance. Toward the end of his 3rd season as coach, the tension was palpable. An online petition to bring back former Tennessee coach Bruce Pearl garnered more than 35,000 signatures in February 2014.
The one thing I always try to do as a coach, not dwell on the past. I mean, we watch film of the last game, walked through some things yesterday. Because when you're talking about an 18-game season in the league play, a lot of things happen. But you got to try to focus on the next game, which is easier said than done, especially for young guys. Even for me as coach, you watch film over and over again, figuring out ways you could have tweaked something, changed something, did something differently. But it's part of it. But for our guys, it just get over it as fast as you can, learn from it, and keep moving forward.
On top of the petition, Martin was fielding questions about his job security, but he did his best to ignore rumors and stay positive.
Might have been after the A&M game. We came off, tough loss, and as a player, you might think, man, because of demand and pressures from the outside, saying it's a must-win. I've never thought any game was a must-win. They're all the same. You prepare, you perform at the highest level, and let the chips fall where they made. And I just felt like it was the case. Our guys, like, man, we let one slip. And then that's when I showed them the graphics of the NCAA, and not to say Lenardi's exact, but just kind of say this: where you guys. You're still in good shape. Let's do what we need to do to be successful as a team. And then we just show we let them hear the song. What is the ball is tipped with, I like that one shining moment. I like this. So and we played that for them, and I thought it was fun for our guys. And it just because it is it's a great feeling when you hear that song and have that opportunity. And I want our guys to have that.
Despite the negativity, the coach and his players persevered and landed a spot in the NCAA tournament. The Vols made their way to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 6 years. Tennessee fell to Michigan, knocking them out of the tournament, but they had surprised fans and come further than many expected.
But I just think more than anything, it's just the demand on an individual player to be the best and the sacrifices it takes to be the best. It's not necessarily a team thing, because they're probably one of the best teams I've been around as far as chemistry and being with each other. But I just think from an individual standpoint, each guy, the demand to be great and the time it takes, the sacrifice, the commitment on both ends of the floor, probably the biggest key. And the pressure you put on yourself in the right way, not pressure where it discourages you, but the pressure to be the best in the execution every time down. And we said all the time as coaches, one possession at a time, but you got to take that where it's a premium in everything you do on both ends of the floor. But for me, you obviously want toughness, and you can be a great scorer, but you have a level of toughness. You got to be a guy that loves to work on his game to get better. A guy that hates to lose. A lot of people talk about, they want to lose, but there has to be a level of hating you that I don't want to lose. I want to be the best. I'll spend hours and hours in the gym. And I think that's what it comes down to, guys that have a passion to play this game at a high level for a long time.
A few days after the loss in the Sweet 16, Martin spoke with Marquette officials to discuss becoming their new head coach. But on April 1st, he announced he was not taking the position.
Was that your call or somebody recommend that to you?
I got a crook in my neck. No, it's fun. It was fun. My second boss, it was his idea.
Had you ever taken one before?
No, I hadn't. I didn't. And really, I was like, man, what is a selfie? I mean, just, and I don't know if I'm that played out. I mean, I don't know. But it was fun.
Only 2 weeks later, on April 15th, Martin announced in a surprise move that he has accepted a position as Cal head coach. National media outlets were quick to point out that Tennessee's unsupportive fan base likely contributed to Martin's departure, a sentiment echoed by his own players.
Again, these are things I talk about from day one in June and July. This is what might happen. How do you handle these situations? Stay even keeled. But there's nothing wrong with a pat on the back. But understand why you got to this point, how you got to this point. So, yeah, I mean, that's part of it. But again, I still don't get a lot of sleep. I mean, it doesn't change for me. Making sure these guys get up and go to class, continue to be successful off the court, and it never stops, and that's the way it is. Just continue to stay humble, stay hungry. But those are things we talk about from day one, so it's not like we give them a speech on how to be humble today. That's every day, and that's our approach. And we'll still do the things we need to do to be successful. You know, it's a one-game season, so to speak. Every time you have one in front of you, and whatever happens, happens. And I said, if we don't win it, we don't win it. But let's go out there and play basketball, and let's not feel like we have the weight of the world on our shoulders just to win a basketball game. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.